Hey everybody, this is Larry Everett with Hyperspace Beacon, and I've got a couple pieces of news today that I'd like to talk about. First off, I would like to talk about some of the leaked footage that we saw from Battlefront, the EA and DICE game that's coming out here soon. And I'd also like to talk about something that happened with the PvP server, well, actually the PTS on Star Wars: The Old Republic. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the first thing, this leaked footage of Battlefront. And I think that it's kind of interesting. I think that, I mean, obviously, I don't think it really showed us anything new. Any of the stuff that we didn't necessarily know before. We did see a playthrough of Hoth at formerly at E3, and I think it was a little bit different in the sense that we were able to see it from just one single perspective, whereas with the footage that we saw at E3, it was just, it went back and forth between the Rebel side and the Empire side, and this time we just saw the Empire side. A couple of things that were interesting to note for me that I noticed. I noticed that you had obviously you had power-ups that were scattered throughout the battlefield, and it also showed a little bit of the ATST and how controlling the ATST worked. What kind of felt interesting to me, just from a gameplay perspective, regarding the ATST, there was a little bit of footage where the player that leaked the footage, wasn't able to pick up more than one power up at a time, which is cool. I'm cool with that, because he had a shield, like a shield at first, and so he had to set down the shield in order to pick up the ATST. So he picked up the ATST, and when he was in the ATST, which was kind of interesting, is that it was it seemed very exposed, and it went down really, really fast. And I'm not saying that this is exactly what's going to happen during the actual gameplay, but I don't know. I found that kind of interesting, and a little bit telling regarding how easy it is to move these things around. And maybe it just, I don't know what level of player this guy was. It didn't seem to be a extraordinarily, he didn't seem to be an A+ player, although he didn't seem totally incompetent either. So I think it was pretty telling. It was pretty good. So my impression of it in general was that if you're looking for an innovative game, if you're looking for a game that is going to break the bounds of what exists with a first-person and third-person, by the way, shooter. Third-person part, so I might be playing this because it is in third-person, and I can do third-person shooters. First-person shooters a little off for me. But anyway, if you're looking for something that kind of breaks the mold or kind of does something extraordinarily and different than anything that has been done before, I think you're going to be a little bit disappointed, because Battlefront doesn't really seem to do anything that you wouldn't expect from a shooter game, especially. But this kind of game. But I think that I don't know. But it being a Star Wars game and the graphics on it just look really, really amazing. Unfortunately, I can't show it here because it's all leaked footage. But it was in 60 frames per second. It looked really nice at 1080p. It was really, really cool. So I think that I think we're looking at something pretty nice. I'm definitely going to be buying this game and trying it out at least. So, and I recommend it for any Star Wars fan to give it a shot. I don't think it's going to be, like I said, I don't think it's going to be anything innovative, but it's definitely going to be something worth playing. Look for Battlefront coming on your PC and, frankly, any of the other consoles on November 17th of this year in North America. And Also, the alpha is open. If you go to battlefront.com, you can sign up for the alpha there if you're interested in testing that out. So anyway, on to the next piece of news. I wanted to talk about Star Wars: The Old Republic here for a minute and I'm pulling this up over here. What they did on the PTS is they were testing out some of the way that war zones work, and specifically the different classes, and they were trying out different new mechanics go along with some of the war zones and whatnot as far as that's concerned. So apparently this show is all about PvP, and they did something that was really cool. I thought it was really nice of them, and something that I think we should see more of to kind of encourage participation in testing. But also, I think they could carry some of this over to the actual game, like on the live game on the servers as well. That would help perpetuate, I think, kind of unity, or at least enthusiasm for PvP again. What they did is they did on Thursday through Saturday, they did testing on the war zones, and they grant anybody that did. And they said on the forums, Eric Musco went on the forums and he said, the community manager, and said, to anyone who played more than 10 war zones between Thursday and Saturday, you will be granted 450 cartel coins. This will happen on Tuesday during the maintenance, and which I'm assuming that's already gone by. So, and he did mention a few other people, which I think is really cool. I'm on board with this. I think that this is a great thing, and I think it goes to show some solidarity with the community team and the community itself. He called out a few people. He called out Snave for having played the most matches, which was 45. Mystery, and this is all their names on the PTS, by the way. Mystery for doing the second most matches, which was 42. And Andrew, I guess how you say that, did the most matches played during dev fight times. So when the devs were on, Andrew played the most matches then. And W did the most damage during a match, and Super Camel did the most healing during a match, and Sail did the most protection during a match, and Barbarina did the most kills during a match, and which was 97 by the way, that's pretty amazing. And Helix had the most objective points during a match, which was 23,500, which is pretty cool as well. And all of those guys all received, I guess, an extra 450 cartel coins, which and to me, honestly, it's not necessarily the prize that was the most important here. It's just that they did recognize these people, and I think if you people who have been in MMOs and kind of studied MMOs philosophically understand that some of the motivations of players and what keeps them intrigued in the game, especially amongst people who usually fall under PvP as their primary motivation for playing an MMO, like the recognition, like to know where they stand with the rest of the community, and they like to pit themselves against other members of the community, and that's part of the whole reason that they play. And it's a lot of fun for them, and it's a lot of fun. And I mean, I find it fun too. I mean, obviously, that's not my primary reason for playing MMOs, but I definitely recognize that as a viable and important reason to play MMOs, and I'm glad to see that the community team has recognized that as well. So at any rate, thanks a lot for tuning in. This has been Hyperspace Beacon News. If you'd like to see more of me and find out what I'm doing on the internet, you can follow me on Twitter at Shadow, SHADDOE. You can also go to follow Hyperspace Beacon at HSBeacon on Twitter. I'm also obviously on YouTube at youtube.com/hyperspacebeacon, hyperspacebeacon.com. I'm also on Tumblr at hyperspacebeacon.tumblr.com. And if you would like to support what you see here, obviously you can subscribe on YouTube, you can thumbs up this video, and you can also support us on Patreon. And go to patreon.com/hyperspacebeacon and throw a buck or two then there, and that'll help us out a little bit to keep these videos coming to you. I have Twitch stream on Hyperspace Beacon, twitch.tv/Hyperspace Beacon. That comes with your support. I give away prizes and whatnot there, and also I do on Sundays, or actually it comes out on Monday, I do an interview with one of the community members of Star Wars: The Old Republic and other games as well. So thanks a lot. I will talk to you later. Let me know what you think of this in the comments, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.